Over the past 2 decades, drug and alcohol abuse has dramatically increased through the children of today's society. We are seeing an alarming rate of death from these diseases since the turn of the century. The Brent Shapiro Foundation is a nonprofit organization that strives to conquer alcohol and drug dependence. The foundation was created by the family because of the tragic loss of their son and to raise awareness and to halt the disease's spread. Supporting this foundation is not only providing the future leaders of this country with a safe space to talk, educating today's parents, teachers, and communities about this disease, and raising awareness about the likelihood of developing an addiction to drugs and alcohol. Firstly, this organization is helping to provide the leaders of this country, the future leaders of this country, with a safe space to talk. The first point is very important because confidentiality is a number one, especially when it comes to problematic topics like drugs and alcohol. Most people who turn to drugs and alcohol suffer from some sort of type of level of depression and don't talk about their issues enough. By providing the safe space to conversate about issues, it allows people to feel more comfortable. Secondly, this foundation is educating today's parents, teachers, and communities about this disease. Drugs and alcohol abuse is more popular now than it had ever been, especially when our parents were back in high school. Not to say it didn't happen, but most people haven't experienced addiction firsthand with themselves or with a close family member. It is very important for everyone to get a better understanding of how this affects the individual with the disease, as well as the close family members and friends of the addicted individual. Lastly, this is helping to raise awareness about the likelihood of developing an addiction to drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol abuse is always going to be a big issue, especially in the United States, but if we can raise awareness on the likelihood of developing a disease like this one, we can prevent it from affecting the future children of this country. In conclusion, the Brent Shapiro Foundation is a nonprofit organization that you should consider donating to in order to raise awareness about the rising drug and alcohol dependence in the United States today. According to the Gale Encyclopedia of Education, a sharp increase in the use of drug ecstasy rose from 6% in 1996 to 11% in 2000. This proves that kids nowadays are becoming more and more curious about drugs. When will this increase no longer be about ecstasy and will be about heroin or fentanyl? I personally have witnessed my brother have his own battle with drugs, specifically heroin, among other street drugs, which destroyed my family's due to heroin's addictive properties. I believe I know to stay away from drugs like these because of the traumatic situations I personally have experienced. On the other hand, kids who haven't had this experience do not know the long-term effects or struggles that addiction to drugs and alcohol can cause on a family and break their ties. I strongly believe that because of the Brent Shapiro Foundation, that they're doing their best to raise awareness about this crisis in order to slow the spread of addiction throughout the United States.
How can I contribute to the Brent Shapiro Foundation?
Well, you can go to www.brentshapiro.org and they have a big button that says donate now, and you can contribute some form of amount of money to their foundation to help fund what they're trying to do.
Can I volunteer for the foundation?
Yes, you may. You can go to the same website and they have a contact that goes down to volunteer, and you can list your name, your email address, and a message, and they'll send out an email to you on how you can volunteer at one of their events.